What's up, everyone? Thralls of Metal back here for another album, well, this time EP review. I'm Shredlord.
Necrotic Nick.
And we are brought here today to gather around the table for the new Candlemass EP, released today during the COVID-19 pandemic.
What a great time for Doom.
Very, very appropriate. Napalm Records. There is 6 tracks on this, and it roughed to be about, 20 minutes?
Roughly about 20 minutes.
Okay. Let's dive right into this.
Well, for any of you that don't know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do know Candlemass, been around since '84. They are the godfathers of epic doom metal, and this is the second release they've had since John Lanquist came back on vocals, who was the original vocalist on Epicus, Doomicus, Metallicus. So, opens up with the title track, and this is the only mastered track on here. The rest of this album is demos, which I thought was kind of cool. This has a nice little acoustic intro and then into an absolutely beefy fucking riff, which that's pretty much the theme for all the actual songs. We'll get into that little term later. Just giant beefy riffs, great doomy atmosphere.
Everything you were expecting from a Candlemass song.
Yeah.
Had an up-tempo, part that had a little groove in it to get you going, had the slowed down doom section in the beginning, had a little sophistication with the nice clean guitar. Everything that they're, everything that's in the wheelhouse that we were expecting was there. Sounded good.
I have to say, John's vocals on this are incredible. I'm really a big fan of him. I love Messiah. Messiah is his own animal when it comes down to vocals, I think. And he really did bring out the epic sound. They don't feel as epic in this, but they sound grittier, if that makes any sense, just because he has this kind of leather-lunged sound.
They really let the vocals just do the talking. There wasn't a lot of, it was just a lot of vocals in the forefront, and not even too much effects, really.
No, not really. I mean, that's a very natural performance, and I love that, because you really get to hear exactly what you're probably going to get live, too.
Yeah.
And I love that. Now, it goes into the next track, Snakes of Goliath, and this is the first demo on here, and I have to say, for demos, these are pretty polished. The most polished thing on them, though, I have to say, are the vocals.
Yes.
Right out front, they sound like they took a little bit of, extra production steps to make sure they really sounded good in there. But I kind of liked how gritty it sounded in terms of the music. Like, it sounded like that was a jammed-in studio sort of thing, like you're hanging out with them and just watch them do their shit.
You're sitting on the couch and not the casting couch.
Oh, no.
And this had a great, but yet blatant, gigantic nod to Electric Funeral. There's a riff in here that is almost a dead ringer for, I'm sure it was intentional as a nod, but it's a really good riff. But I looked at Nick and said, what does this sound like?
I was about to write it down as I did Electric Funeral. It even has that little kind of like wah-ish sound in there too. It's like, it's constructed a little bit differently, but it is an obvious nod.
You can tell it was that was the thought process.
They had Tony Iommi on the last album. I mean, and this is doom metal. Black Sabbath is integral to doom metal. They are pretty much the ones that illustrated how to do it. Right from their, self-titled track. That's doom metal right there, and throughout their career. So Black Sabbath nods, of course, are going to be in Candlemass.
Notes. Like if we were sampling, we're receiving notes. But now it's time to note through the next 2 tracks, which happen to be about 1.5 minutes length apiece. The first track was basically what I summarized as, like, you could tell they wrote a really cool, just a small section of a song, and it's literally just an acoustic running through this progression, and it repeats itself a couple times, and that's it.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
It sounds like it could be like the intro to another track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or an interlude.
It's definitely going to be a section of some song, right? But it just sounded like they're just like, oh yeah, record this section so we don't forget it. Because there's literally 1 instrument tracked on this whole thing.
No, 2. There was a bass in there, too.
Okay, I'm sorry. A bass and a guitar. Next, however, is just a distorted bass track. And it sounds like someone just isolated a bass track for 1.5 minutes of a song and then cut it. It was really, to me, it was so random and out of place. I could have used without that. It didn't make sense to me.
I get that Leaf is pretty much the heart of the band. He is the sole original member, and he's been keeping Candlemass going since its inception. But this just seemed like he was just kind of demoing his tone, which the tone is pure fucking just heft. It's awesome. But at the same time, it really doesn't do anything that's dazzling or anything. It's just kind of there.
Porcelain Skull is the last song on this EP that's like a full song, and what I mean by full song is it's not mastered or anything, but like has vocals, has a full band ensemble. And once again, goes back to, it sounds like a really cool Candlemass too.
Yeah. My only complaint other than the interlude tracks would be that they played it maybe a little safe in here, but it comes down to execution, and Candlemass executes. I mean, they flat out just big, catchy riffs, and there are some serious hooks in here. I really loved the solo on this one too, especially how it changed, because the bridge riff kind of picks up a little bit, and then instead of just shifting dramatically to the main riff again, they let the solo carry through that part, and it really changes the feel of the solo. Like, it gets even more doom laden, and there's always room for more doom, especially in Candlemass.
And I remember talking with you about how it felt less epic. This EP felt less epic than previous Candlemass recordings, but after thinking about it, maybe because it's an EP, they wanted it to have a more raw sound. I guess if they ever release some of these songs later on down the road in a new album, we'll kind of hear what the whole contrast was from now to there. But
yeah, I mean, I think mostly just has to do with, like I said, the vocal delivery, of course, doesn't sound like Messiah, but yeah, the gritty production. I don't know, I kind of like the fact that it was a little bit grittier.
I do too.
And, I mean, their back catalog is epic as fuck. I mean, if you really want to hear like the big epic stuff, go through all that stuff. But I like their current run here, back with John on the band too. I just think they're onto something that's maybe a little bit grittier. Then we get one more little interlude track, The Cold Room, which started out really cool. It's again acoustic.
Acoustic guitar with a keyboard in the background.
And a piano. It sounds like a piano or a piano effect.
Sure, piano or a keyboard with a piano sound.
But then it gets really synthy toward the end, and honestly, it just kind of took away from like the somber feel of it. It just felt too lush for what they were going for in terms of doom.
Yeah, this track, The Cold Room, and the track Sub-Zero could have been paired together somehow.
Yeah.
Even if they were two separate parts, it could have been on one track, and it just, once again, the small clips on this. Maybe they were just searching for something to kind of, little tidbits to throw on there, be little extras, Nobody expects it to be like killer, yeah. But it just didn't make sense.
Padding out the length.
Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
That's all it is. It's kind of filler, like that distorted bass line.
Yeah.
Throw a drum beat with it, maybe, or something a little bit more. It just sounds like
half ideas.
Yeah. Oh, record a 45-second passage on your bass. We'll isolate it, and that's a track on the EP.
Yeah,
Give it a name. What do you want to call it? It just doesn't make sense. I'm really weird. I'm always been, and anytime I talk about EPs, I'm weird about EPs, man. I'm weird about EPs. I got to hear full albums.
I get it, because the full album generally has giant themes that are going across and everything. Well, depending on who you're listening to, but yeah, as an EP, I think this one's okay. I'm going to give it 3 stars. I like the tracks, the actual full tracks that were given, and I like the fact that the demos of the tracks actually sounded really natural, really organic. And I was kind of surprised by that, because I was kind of surprised looking it up that the bulk of this is just demoed material. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I mean, it's Candlemass. It is flat out Candlemass. If you love Candlemass, there's a damn good chance you're just going to love this shit.
I also give it a 3 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. However, I feel like this would have been a better EP had those 3 random-ass tracks that were roughly, a minute 30? So all you're really gaining, you're losing 4 minutes and 30 seconds of randomness, and then just had the 1 mastered track and the 2 unmastered tracks. If it was just those 3 tracks, I probably would have gave it 3.5. But this extra stuff just was what am I listening to? I don't know. So, 3 out of 5. Hopefully they take these songs, apply them to a new album maybe sometime later this year. Everybody's got a lot of extra downtime. Yeah. So maybe we'll start getting some spikes in new music from a lot of bands we haven't heard of in a while.
I think that is distinctly possible.
Yeah. Even though we just got a new Candlemass album last year, but still, speaking to my point, there's probably a lot of cool things that I'm hoping are going to come out of the woodwork because everybody's got a lot of extra downtime. So, yeah. If you like what we did here, please hit the like and subscribe button. We appreciate your support, and we do shit like this all the time, as well as sometimes you'll catch us thumbing our butts.
No, not that.
But seriously, we appreciate it, and we are super, super, super close to giving away a free Cryptopsy hoodie for our 1,000 subscriber giveaway. What number are we at?
We are at like 988, 987, somewhere in there.
Oh, please. Please. Tell a friend. Tell your grandmother. Tell your neighbor. Handwrite them a note. Drop it off on their doorstep, ring the bell, and run. It's appropriate in this situation. So.
Yep, wear gloves.
But anyway, I'm done rambling. Shredlord Necrotic Nick here. We'll catch you on the next review. Peace.